Let's take another look at what our grain markets are doing here on a Tuesday, Crop Progress Tuesday, we usually call it. In this case, it would be a Harvest Progress Tuesday. Numbers came out yesterday, and we were talking about that earlier. Pretty good progress made last week. I want to take a look at what the corn market is doing now that the Harvest Progress number is out. The corn kind of taking a break today. December down 3 cents at 5.37 3/4 per bushel. In the soybean trade, I'll remind you, we did not have any overnight export sales reported this morning on corn or soybeans. Now, the corn is lower, but soybeans are higher. November now 6 1/4 higher. We're at 12.42 per bushel as it stands at the moment. Now, going on to Chicago wheat, we had December down 7 cents. We're at 7.49 1/2. In that Kansas City market, we go to the nearby December contract. It's down 12 1/2 cents at 7.41 3/4. Kind of getting beat up on a little bit here today. On the Minneapolis market, December currently down 5 1/2. We're at 9.24 3/4 per bushel. On the cotton market, that new crop December contract roaring, roaring ahead. We're 311 points higher at 108.04 cents per pound. In other words, a little over $1.08 a pound. Tremendous. All right, let's go to the phone where we have Ben Hushon standing by. He's with the mill in Whitehall, Maryland. All right, Ben, thanks for joining us here once again. How's the weather been treating your harvesters out there in the field this week?
Good morning, Marlin. It's really been a great week for corn harvest since we talked last week. It's pretty much every morning's been a little foggy and dewy, so anybody that's trying to get started on soybeans hadn't been able to. But it's pretty much been rain-free. Corn harvest is rolling up here pretty much wide open. Virtually everybody of all sizes has got the combine rolling, and I'd say where the corn is good, it's excellent. Even had a farmer tell me the other day, amazing. He used that word. But just like everything else in agriculture, there's always the challenges. We've got guys already starting to run out of storage. We've got, because of the yields being so good. And then you've got the other folks who, depending on varieties, et cetera, we had a pretty heavy rainstorm come in September, beginning of September, late August, from the south, brought a whole load of disease. Well, you could almost see that corn turn overnight. The top quarter, top third of that plant, all of a sudden, just the leaves turn brown. And some of those varieties, guys are starting to have trouble getting through. And, of course, always an occasional insect issue here and there that's challenged, especially when we have the summer we did where it rain and insect was almost tropical up here this summer.
Interesting. Now, if you had to assign a percentage to it again, as far as your local harvest progress, how far along would they be, do you think?
I would say 25%. The folks that have big acres, folks that have 5,000 acres or more, they've been rolling pretty good, and they'll talk about being, maybe 20, 25, some of them as high as 50% done because they've had virtually no interruptions weather-wise. But a lot of the other folks that they don't have maybe all the grain dryer facility, they like to let it get under 20 till they start. They're more like 10% long. So kind of overall acreage, probably 25% would be maybe a little high, but pretty close.
Well, thanks for the update, Ben. Always good to hear from you. Ben Hushon of the Mill in Whitehall, Maryland. We'll be back in a moment. We'll take a look at livestock trade right after this.